Oh, that's really weird. Why? Why? What?
Like I said, there's branching paths.
Oh, I see.
So there is some replay value in this game if you want to experience everything.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't. You know. Well, I guess I'll pass judgment on that. I don't want to do that again. My suspicion is probably not, but we'll see.
If I remember.
This is good, but 2 or 3 playthroughs.
If I remember right, like some paths are technically like more difficult than the others.
Yeah. Like, let me put it this way: I don't think this is a bad game, but I feel like I'm spoiled for riches on that.
I mean, you're playing it.
You're
playing it well after beat 'em ups for like.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Like beat 'em ups evolved way past this one. I would argue beat 'em ups probably evolved past this point while this game was out, but you know.
Kind of, sort of, depends on.
Because when did this game come out again?
93, I believe. Wasn't it? It was 93 or 94.
Okay. Because I'm thinking Streets of Rage came out, what, 94, 95?
Did it?
I'd have to double check.
No, Final Fight 3 I think came out in like close to the end of the Super Nintendo's life cycle, so probably 95, 96.
Yeah. And I guess my thing is, while there are some things in here that are neat, I still don't feel like the fighting, the quality of the physics and how the fights feel, it's still not as good as games that were coming out at that time. The super move stuff is a nice touch. Like, there's no impact in it. You know what I mean?
Kind of, sort of.
Sound effects are not as good. They're very muffled. And I don't know if that's because of how we're playing it, but like it's something just feels off. And like this is a weird thing I do. Like I am enjoying this game. Like I'm having fun doing it, but like at the same time I'm like looking at what's happening in the game and how the game is working and all of that, you know?
I get what you're saying. It's probably because I've rented this game a whole lot, so...
Oh yeah. This is literally my first time ever playing.
So like, I'm aware of its flaws, but I'm just like, nah, I played it so much, like it doesn't really matter anymore.
Ah yeah. You're used to it.
Like playing any first-person shooter on the Nintendo 64.
Mm-hmm. Right, and I don't want you to think I'm not enjoying it. I am. It's just, like I said, I'm just looking at it in comparison to other games that I've played, and I'm like, this could have been much better. This is kind of how I'm looking at it, basically.
I doubt we're gonna get like a HD remake of it. Sadly, it'd be nice.
No, probably not. I'd really rather than
Final
just make it
Fight 4.
honest. Yeah. Final Fight, streetwise, didn't happen.
I mean, its events obviously didn't happen, that's for sure. But bits and pieces of it are canonical, so...
Yeah, they just kind of pick and chose the stuff that wasn't terrible.
Like, Cody has a brother, and his last name is Travers. That's pretty much it. I still feel really bad for that studio.
It sounded like they had way bigger plans than they actually got, and like, they got screwed around.
They died and Maximo went with them. And that upsets me.
That's also not cool. That game looked pretty cool, pretty neat. I've actually never played that one either.
Playing it for the show, but maybe I should like stream it.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. I'd be down for that if I'm around.
I mean, you're gonna have Saturday free for a little bit.
Yeah. Normally I play a tabletop game on Saturdays, and fortunately our DM he knew his computer was dying, So he was already starting to try to get ready, but like unfortunately it died before he could back his stuff up. So now he's got nothing.
He took his
So he can get it
campaign's notes
recovered.
with him.
Yeah. And this is why I love stuff like Google Keep and Dropbox and stuff like that, because most of that stuff, if I need it, I got it. It doesn't matter what I'm on. I prefer not to, but I could run. I could play a character from my phone if I had.
But will you be like me and
Again,
play D&D during well, tabletop specifically, not D&D, but tabletop during a thunderstorm on a laptop after your power went out?
I mean, yes. If I had a laptop and I had battery power, I'd probably.
That's how I roll.
I mean, I'd do it on my phone with no power, so why wouldn't I do it on a laptop?
I couldn't imagine.
In fact, I'm pretty sure I did. I don't think I ever did tabletop. Oh my god, this guy. Why is the tugboat here? Why is the tugboat here? Hasn't Fred Ottman done enough?
Why can I not hit him? That was going to be my next question.
Yeah. If he puts on a sparkly helmet, I'm gonna lose.
There's no sparkly helmets to be had.
Yeah. I don't even know if I should explain that. You know what the Shockmaster is?
I'm trying to decide if I want to know.
I feel like you might actually be able to do it. So, Fred Ottman, the tugboat in WCW, he actually no, I think it was in WWE. I forget what he was elsewhere. But anyways, Fred Ottman was supposed to play this guy who was supposed to be like this
secret tugboat captain.
The fourth member of he was like basically there was like some show that was gonna happen, and like Ric Flair and Booker T was there, and a bunch of other stuff. But basically, they were fighting each other, and like they were gonna have like fight in like faction. So, oh yeah, and Sting was there. Yeah, Sting was like, I've got this secret partner, and you know, he's gonna shock the world because he is the shock master. And so they cut to this wall. And what's supposed to happen is, you know, he's supposed to come through the wall and look badass, but they gave him this stupid sparkly stormtrooper helmet, and just like a regular like a black wife beater, not unlike the shirt that our buddy here, Rafe, is wearing. But he comes out, he's and he's got this helmet on, and like I think there was like a board or something underneath the part of the wall he was supposed to bust through, so he like falls flat on his face, and like there was like a little bit of pyro that went off in front of it, so pyro goes off, he busts through the wall, falls flat on his face, and then gets up, and his helmet fell off.
Run away from the bulldozer? I don't know.
So then he has to rush to get rush to get the helmet back on. And then he gets up and he starts gesticulating and he's talking, but it's not his voice because he's wearing a helmet. And you wouldn't have been able to hear him. So like someone is doing this really goofy voice, like, I am the Shockmaster. And I'm like,
I have no idea if we're supposed to be hitting the...
Yeah, I'm a little confused right now.
Thanks, guy, I guess.
Oh.
Literally.
Thanks. I think I figured out how to hit him though. Funny thing. A huge stockpile
But hey, at least
weapon.
they were giving us a plot.
Yep. Word Sims Inc.
Speaking of Shockmaster, I am the Shockmaster. I like how this is apparently just a thing that happens in the Street Fighter universe. People just have...
Yep. Yeah, when we get done with this, by the way, I'm gonna find you a clip of Shockmaster. And I really... It's not like one of those things where like it's like... hard to watch, it's hilarious, like from the beginning to end, really. Because it's just they were trying so hard to make this look serious, and there was no way anybody was even remotely going to take this seriously. And so by the end, he had become the Super Shock Master, and the fact that he was accident prone was just part of his character.
Even though his design is basic as shit, I really like Dean's look.
Yeah, it's alright. It's funny because his headshot would lead me to think that he's more colorful than he actually is. I'll be honest, even though these special moves are nice, I really don't have a reason to use them.
Especially since Lucia's primary one was you have to do in the air.
Yeah. Well, if you get it right, you can actually, you don't have to do it in the air. You can catch somebody on the ground with it, but it's really specific, I've noticed.
I think it's what, jump and then quarter circle? Whatever the fire kick was.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. I'd have to actually look at the move list again. Because I know there's that one, and then there's this, she's got like a kick move that I've done before, but can't get to happen now. So, there's that.
Finally, in 1995, they stopped that whole replacing all the lady enemies with skinny, effeminate dudes.
Yep.
The 90s were progressive. Eventually, we could just beat up girls too. Which sounds pretty awful when I phrase it that way.
Yep, there's really no good way to put that, honestly.
Violence.
Yep. Man, I gotta tell you this though, that just makes me think about the Royal Rumble a couple of years ago. So in WWE, it has been illegal for a man to strike a woman, or at least was for a very long time.
Except in except in the games back in 2008 or 9.
Yeah, that was actually around the time that they instituted the rule, so that makes sense. But yeah, they instituted that rule, so it's been like that for the last 12-something years at this point. That is a bomb. That was very underwhelming. You see what I mean about the sound effects, though?
Whatever that sound was supposed to be.
Right, just throwing fart bombs at us. Silent but deadly. But yeah, so basically I said there has been a rule where the men are not really supposed to ever strike the women, and in some cases doing so would disqualify you, and that's how it would work in the games after that point in time. So they had a Royal Rumble a few years ago where they had this one really, basically the largest woman on the roster, Nia Jax.
Probably.
I think you've seen. She was in that Money in the Bank match. But basically, she shows up in the middle of this match and just gets in the ring and just starts fighting with everybody. And like, usually what'll happen if a woman gets involved in these things is they'll show up and maybe they'll get some offense from someone else, but none of the men are actually going to do anything to her. Well, she got RKO'd, among other things. And I just remember being like, wow, that's crazy.
God, that's right. I forgot they added that in this too, where you can switch what direction you're holding somebody in.
Yeah.
They tried.
Yep. Like I said, they were definitely trying to do some new stuff.
Too little, too late, mostly.
It just feels like, yeah, it just feels like other beat 'em ups at this point, running circles around this game. Other games that Capcom was making.
Battle Circuit?
Yeah.
Actually, no. Battle Circuit
Battle
was way
Circuit
late.
come out? Yeah, I was like, that was later. Like, I'm thinking that was like the end of the.
We're going in here now.
Oh, okay.
To beat up people in here.
Yep. And
Which is
experience
weird, all things
slowdown.
considered.
Yeah, like you'd think that this would be less prone to that.
Yeah. Sound effects are definitely.
Yep. No, I can't do it again.
The punching sound for Dean sounds fine, but like when you backbreaker somebody, probably a little bit more noise.